my loves, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jess from Bahati Life. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about Jupiter's move through the sign of Capricorn. Now for those of you guys that are like, Jess, honestly this feels like deja vu. Have we talked about this before, or have I seen you do this before? Yes and no. So this Monday that is just passing, technically yesterday, I relaunched Astro Chat Live, which is a chance for me to go live and connect with my tribe and talk about all the astro transits, all of what's going on in the cosmos, live with you on YouTube every Monday at 7 p.m. Now, when this happened, there was so much energy. Per usual, we literally blew out YouTube. I don't want to say the whole YouTube, but at least my platform blew out. And that is, if you guys are part of the Bahati Vibe tribe, you know that we are no stranger to experiencing that. That happens a lot when I'm filming, but especially when we go live. There was a lot of energy that was, building up throughout the entire chat session. And I guess, these type of platforms and technology can only handle so much of it. So for that reason, because I didn't get to finish all of the details that it is that I wanted to share with you, I actually rearranged my entire schedule today so that I could sit down so that we could talk about it in detail, and I have my notes here so that I don't miss a thing. So that being said, there's a few different chunks that I want to talk about with the fact that Jupiter is moving through the sign of Capricorn. The first chunk is what you can expect on a global level. Well, no, the first chunk is what type of energies that it is that we are going to be working with when it comes to the planet Jupiter and also Capricorn. Then the next chunk is going to be what we can expect on a global level. And then the third chunk is going to be what you can expect in your own personal lives. The reason why I want to do this is because you guys already know I am thorough AF. I want to make sure that you guys fully understand and grasp the energy that this is going to, how it's going to impact every single one of us. Because there's a lot of misinformation that is circulating around the internet, and I want the information to be thorough, to be authentic, and I want it to be understood in and out, because I believe, and for those of you guys that are part of the Bahati Vibe tribe, you know, and you hear me say this again and again, but I believe that when you know how to work with the energy of the planets, they will work with you, not against you. Capricorn and Saturn energy, now I know we're talking about Jupiter, but Saturn rules Capricorn. Capricorn and Saturn have a really bad reputation on the internet, but not by astrologers, not by intuitives, because if you take time to understand the energy of what that sign and what that planet will bring, you would see the blessings of it. And Jupiter has one of the best reputations on the internet, but if you took the time as an astrologer or even as an intuitive, or maybe even just to watch this video, you would learn that not one planet or not one sign brings all good or all bad. It just is what it is. It's up to you to work with that energy to make it work for you, not against you, and you're never a victim of it. All right, so I always have to kind of put out that disclaimer before I dive in. And that being said, let me go ahead and roll my sleeves up just a little bit on my Star Tribe hoodie, hashtag Bahati Life merchandise, which sold out within literally 3 days. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully you're wearing your hoodie. It's the softest thing ever, but okay. No more talking. Let's go ahead and talk about what we are here for. Okay, so Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet that brings blessings. It brings good luck. It brings abundance. And that is three of the main things that it is popular for, again, on the internet. But when you actually look at Jupiter and you study Jupiter, it's more than just those three things. In fact, it's about philosophy. It's about spirituality. It's about connecting to your higher sense of self. It's about expansion and growth, but also expanding your mind, expanding your perspective, and being open to different types of things, because we are not confined to just any one thing. And this is what makes us connect to our spiritual selves. It's what helps us to connect to the divine and philosophy and higher education, because our minds are always seeking to be expanded. Jupiter is not known for this, but it's actually a guru. It's actually a deep spiritual teacher, not in the same way that Saturn and Pluto teaches lessons or Neptune teaches lessons. It's more jovial, it's more lighthearted, and it likes to have a good time. And I feel like because that's the one side of the energy that Jupiter brings, kind of like this Santa Claus energy of sitting back, living life, loving life, and laughing throughout the entire process. People can look at that from a surface level and think that Jupiter's blessings and Jupiter's guidance, they don't take it as seriously as they would, as they do when they demonize Saturn, when they demonize Pluto, and when they exalt the energy or sometimes tear apart the energy of Neptune. But Jupiter's role in our life, again, is to expand our perspective, our minds, and our experience here on Earth, not just our bank accounts, not just our love life, not just our houses and our belongings and things like that. So when Jupiter moves into the sign of Capricorn, the areas of our life that Capricorn rules is going to feel his touch and feel his guidance and feel his lessons. Now, for those of you guys, I get this question a lot. When you say, I don't have Capricorn ruling any area of my chart or any area of my life, Capricorn is not in my chart, that is not true. Every single one of us, it doesn't matter if you're an earth sign, a water sign, a fire sign, or an air sign, Capricorn rules some element or area or chunk of your chart, and the influence is there. Also, Saturn ruling Capricorn will be found within your natal chart, without a doubt. None of us don't have one of those planets. We all have those planets, okay? And the best way to look at that and to discover where that is within your chart is to do a natal chart reading or astrology chart reading with a professional, seasoned astrologer like myself or someone else who has been studying this for quite some time with a guru or self-taught, okay? So when Saturn, okay, now let's talk about Capricorn. And let's also talk about the fact that this transit, Jupiter moving into the sign of Capricorn, it's not just this one specific transit, at least not on my channel. Some of you guys get upset with me for being wordy, but I'm giving you everything. I'm giving you everything you need to understand this. And I'm not going to dumb it down. I'm not going to leave anything out. I'm giving you everything. So I appreciate those that appreciate how thorough I am, because I want you to be informed. So when I look at, as an astrologer, when I look at the chart, I'm not looking at just Jupiter's transit in 2019, just that one aspect. There is a lot of energy that is coming together in order to create the creation of what you will experience as Jupiter's moving through the sign of Capricorn, because that's why you're watching this video. That's why you're looking at anyone's video, because you want to be like, well, what can I expect globally and also in my personal life? How is this going to impact me? Why is this important to me? So it's not just Jupiter's transit, it's a lot of the other transits. And with that being said, it's really important for me to make a note and to tell you guys that Capricorn has been under fire and under a microscope and a big chunk of our lives for the majority of 2019 and definitely 2018. The reason why this is because Saturn and Pluto have also been transiting and making a lot of damages, not in a bad way, but kind of destroying and restructuring a lot of aspects of our lives that we have found the most frustrating, the most stressful. The one metaphor that I talked about in my Astro Live chat, and I'm going to repeat it here, is it's like going in an airplane or creating an airplane, knowing that it's going to take people from point A to point B, that's its purpose. But to get there, it could be a risk. If that plane is not, doesn't have, if it can't take the test of pressure, if it can't, move correctly, if there's something wrong with it, that's how many people on that flight that our lives are in jeopardy, are in danger of just literally plummeting out of the skies. And that's what, the universe and the cosmos is working to make sure that you are going to pass those stress tests, so that when you are flying and coasting to your destination in your life, in your love life, in your career, in publishing, and doing whatever it is, in travel, whatever it is that you are destined to do in your life, that you're able to get there and not collapse and not fall apart. So just like people would do a stress test, and engineers would do a stress test on that plane before they put it out and it passed all those tests, the same thing is what Saturn has been doing and Pluto has been doing in the sign of Capricorn, and Capricorn rules one area of your life. Now, if you can think of one area of your life that has been the most challenging, or maybe two areas of your life that has been the most challenging. For some of you guys, it's different depending on your personal chart. that is probably, I can guarantee you, that has probably been under the influence of Capricorn or Saturn and Pluto, because all of that energy of destruction, regeneration, breaking down, conflict, like coming up with this conflict and chaos and rebuilding and restructuring, I'm repeating myself, all of those areas of our lives have been under the influence of Saturn, or that energy of this re-breakdown and reprogramming and restructuring has been being dismantled by the energy of Saturn, and then also being transformed by the energy of Pluto. Now, what does this have to do with Jupiter? Well, here comes Jupiter laughing with a big belly, wanting to have a good time, but also wanting to expand your mind and to help you to shift your perspective from the areas of your life that have just recently been broken down by the energy of Saturn and Capricorn all of 2018 and all of 2019. I just hit myself in the face with this pen, right? So you want to definitely, like I said, you want to go ahead and check out what Capricorn rules within your chart, where it falls within your chart, what house it rules, because that house represents an entire chunk of one area of your life. And when Saturn and Pluto move through it, that's when you see all of that breakdown. And here comes Jupiter enhancing that energy even more. Now, what Saturn's blessing is and how Saturn works is it will do a stress test. Pluto will work to transform it and manipulate it and do shadow work and reveal to you some aspects of yourself that may be difficult to see, but that's the magic of Pluto, is that it helps you to see the shadow sides. It helps you to understand the darker sides of yourself, so that you are transformed by it and that you own your power, that you know your ability to control things, that you know your ability to manipulate things, not in a negative way, but in a positive way. Hopefully, fingers crossed, especially if you're part of my Bahati Vibe tribe. We work with predominantly positive energy and positive intention, meaning we do things for good, not evil and bad, right? I would hope. So what Jupiter does, and as it moves into the sign of Capricorn, is it helps you. It's not going to force you. It's not going to break things down. It actually brings an energy that kind of makes you think about things differently. It helps to inspire you. It wants to enlighten you and shift your perspective. But this is something that it falls in your hands. Is this something that you want to do, or is this something that you want to take seriously? Is it important to you? If that's the case, Saturn and Pluto are going to help you to commit yourself to it, bond yourself to it, and make those changes. But Jupiter himself is not going to force you to do it. That's the kind of pros and cons about it, is that anything that Jupiter brings into your life during this time, it changes your philosophy, it changes your perspective on things, but at the same time, he himself is not going to get up from the table and force you to do it. He's not going to move your hand for you like Saturn and Pluto will force you by making you so uncomfortable in the status quo that you feel forced, you feel pushed, you have no chance, you have no option but to get up, to roll your sleeves up and get, in with the dirty, grind with it, get your hands dirty with it, right? To do the hard work, because Saturn and Pluto will force you. Jupiter is a lot more relaxed, a lot more laid back, but that's the thing about Jupiter. And we'll see this in a lot of astrological transits, is that because Jupiter is, I don't want to say so easygoing, but because he's not forcing you, and because he's so relaxed with it, and so, it feels good, there's a lot of people who will see these opportunities come in and not feel the desire or the ambition to kind of make a move on that. So just as much as Jupiter can bring in blessings and abundance and bring in expansion and bring in different philosophies and different mindset, he will also make a lot of people kind of lazy and fall back and be like, oh, that's really nice. This opportunity comes by. It's like a conveyor belt of sushi or different desserts. And it's like, wow, that dessert looks really good. I've never seen any dessert like that before. I bet you that would be really good. I want that. Yeah. Oh, nice. Oh, chocolate. I love chocolate. I love the icing of that. It's so beautiful. I haven't had chocolate in forever. I would love to have that. I think that's the one that it is that I want. Oh, okay. Oh, what's this? It's like, grab the dessert. You can have both of the desserts, but you have to put your hand out. Don't just watch that opportunity pass. Jupiter is the one to be like, oh, that's so nice. But you have to be the one to put your hand out and to reach for it, grab it, and then eat it, consume it, enjoy it. Also, there's this aspect of Jupiter, and I want to tell you guys this full disclosure. I don't know why people aren't talking about this on the internet, but we're going to talk about it here today, is just as much as Jupiter brings in these blessings and opportunity and this mind expansion and philosophy, it will also bring in distractions. I've noticed that. There's a lot of distractions. There's a distraction of a good time. There's a distraction of love. There's a distraction of travel. There's a distraction of drinking, partying. You know, there's a lot of different distractions. And because your cup is being filled with wine and, you know, lushness, you're just kind of drinking from it like, ah ha ha, just laughing, enjoying this opportunity. So that's why people love those Jupiter transits, because they're so much fun. Usually they can be a lot of fun, but that's one side of Jupiter, that they're having so much fun doing this that, you know, and they look back at it fondly, with fond memory usually, but these opportunities kind of pass. But also keep in mind that Saturn and Pluto are helping you to not allow those opportunities to pass you. It's not going to allow you to miss that. That being said, Jupiter will also bring in some weight gain. It will make you want to indulge a little bit. It'll make you want to have a good time, make you want to drink alcohol a little bit more than you usually do, go out with your friends, party, go on roller coasters, just things that bring fun to you. But so that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're trying to watch your high blood pressure, those are things that can increase. You also want to make sure that you're checking your personal chart to see where Jupiter, where Sagittarius, what that Sagittarius rules within your chart, especially when it comes to health issues. It can really increase money. It can increase stress accidentally. Sometimes too much can be too much, and there always has to be a healthy sense of balance, and only you know the answer for that. So, and what that's going to look like. Now, what we can expect, let me see if I'm missing anything. Oh, this is a lot of, not a lot of information, but it's kind of like a bonus bit of information that I want to share with you guys. But it's really important for me to mention to you that Jupiter, the beauty of Jupiter and the wisdom of Jupiter is that when you are born, I believe this without a fraction of a doubt, but when you are born, there are an innate sense of a sense of philosophies and belief systems that you hold and that you believe are true and you hold close to your heart. As soon as you hear them, as soon as you experience them, as soon as you practice them, it will resonate as truth for you. Jupiter's opposite is Mercury. Mercury rules information and facts, and it rules, you know, things that are out there for you to gain as tools that you can, you know, put in your brain, that you can speak out, that you can think of. But Mercury's, you know, you have that here, and there's a reason why I'm saying this. We have these facts, we have this information, but it's Jupiter that brings wisdom, that brings an innate sense of, yes, this is truth. And it's not facts that bring the truth. It can, those facts that Mercury accumulates can help to support the truth of what Jupiter's wisdom is given to you innately. And that's one of the blessings, and that's why Jupiter rules spirituality and philosophy, because these are things that, it's not just facts and things that you can study, it's a truth that you feel within your core, that a belief system, a faith system, that no one can take from you, and no fact can really strip away from it. It can only support it. And that's what Jupiter's energy brings, and that people are not talking about, or people are not talking about it enough. That's why Jupiter rules Sagittarius. That's why Jupiter co-rules and the energy of Pisces, because, and then also Pisces is co-ruled by Neptune. This is because Jupiter takes this higher sense of knowing and connects you to the divine. It's not about what you read, not only strictly about what you read, what you've studied, passing that test. It's about what you believe within your core values. Jupiter rules that. So when Jupiter moves into the sign of Capricorn and Jupiter shifts, those aspects of that are going to get triggered within, for most people, within yourself. And they're things that you innately feel, not by what you've heard other people say, because it's like, it kind of is, if you're raised in an environment or a culture where people believe this one way, and you can reiterate and articulate and spit out verbatim a mindset, a belief system, a psalm, or whatever, a scripture, you can reiterate it, you can spit it out like as if it's clockwork. It's just in your brain. That's very Mercury. But it's Jupiter that connects you to your faith. It's the sense of Jupiter that says, you know, does your faith actually support it? Are you constantly questioning the facts? Are you constantly questioning this information? If Jupiter's energy within your chart does not support this factual evidence, this written word, then it is not true for you. And that's a blessing that Jupiter will give into your life. And that's the energy of what Jupiter will bring into your life is actual, this is what is real for you. This is your philosophy. This is your belief system. This is your value system. This is your faith. And no one can take that from you. So what does this have to do with Jupiter moving to the sign of Capricorn? 20 minutes into it, what does Jupiter have to, what it'll bring is that the energy of Jupiter, when it moves into the sign of Capricorn, Capricorn is connected to commitments, business, investments, government, structure, politicians, leadership, organizations. So that same magic that Jupiter brings is going to infuse itself into the sign, into the sign of Capricorn, and into the energy of Capricorn. Now, this is not going to be something that is brand new and fresh, although in some aspects it will, and I'll show you how that is globally. The reason why this is because Saturn and Pluto have already been making major waves in the sign of Capricorn for all of us. And this has not been a short-term process. This has been very long-term. The same areas of your life that you are losing faith on, the same areas of your life that you're being tested on, are the same areas that are now going to get expanded, fingers crossed, hopefully in a way that feels good for you, but you also want to make sure that you are working with this energy for good and that you're making it work for you, not against you. What we will see globally is this friction, this chaos, this discontent, this discord that's been happening in politics and government, that is very divinely timed, and that astrologers, myself included, we predicted this before it started happening. As much tension and chaos and disruption and agitation that we're seeing in our politics and our government, it was all planned. It was all written in the stars. This is no surprise to me, and this is no surprise to other astrologers. But that same structure has been being broken down in politics. That's been broken down in our government. That's been broken down in legal fractions of our lives, in businesses, in structures, in organized religion even. Those areas of our lives, in our world, in our environmentalism, those are things that have been being tested because Earth energy, those areas of our lives have been under pressure. And when Jupiter comes through, it's kind of fitting itself and expanding itself in those cracks and creating new philosophy, new mindset. So this is when we're going to see new politicians, new global leaders, new advancements in government, politics, leadership. We're not thinking about, oh, this is just our country. We're thinking globally. We're thinking what impacts the one over here is definitely, without a doubt, going to impact us over here. Everything is connected. So we're going to have a leader who is probably spiritually based, spiritually influenced, or they think differently from the others. They think really large. It almost seems like they're thinking optimistically, but they're not. It's not that it's optimistic. It's not that it's positive thinking. It's just literally it's thinking about the greater good, how this all impacts us, and thinking outside of our normal confined ways. That's why government and politics and, how we take care of the environment is being tested right now. And I talked about that in a video with the energy of Taurus and with the energy of Capricorn. All this energy crowding in the sign of Capricorn. So we're going to have more diverse thinking, a more diverse leader. And what we have the potential is for those, these larger than life spirits and energies to come through and to connect and to almost hold hands. It's almost like energy of like world peace. Not so much. There's definitely going to be some friction and some challenge. It's not going to be the easiest process because we have Pluto and Saturn moving to the sign of Capricorn as well. But Jupiter can bring in the opportunity of a leader who will be very optimistic and diverse in their thinking and thinking about things on a global level. The same corporations that were being tested and challenged during the Saturn and Pluto transit, which is still happening now, like big business, Victoria's Secret, Forever 21, Toys R Us are some major corporations that I've announced. The same corporations that have been so rigid in their thinking are now going to have a reemergence. They're going to have more success out of nowhere, seemingly out of nowhere, especially when those planets go retrograde. They're going to reemerge again. They're going to restructure themselves and they're going to try again, swinging, but now with the times, moving with the times, not against them. Organizations and businesses that are not working and not open to this are going to be challenged. They're going to be taken down. They're not going to be able to make it, especially when it comes to finances, especially when it comes to faulty, corrupt leaders and business owners running, running things in a way that is evil, running things in a way that is corrupt and not okay. Saturn and Pluto will not allow businesses who don't have solid, good, respectful values and core policies. Those corporations will be under wrap, under fire, and they will break down. Now, when it comes to, I will say this, philosophy, religion, spirituality is no longer going to be as taboo as it used to be. In fact, a lot of the more organized religions are going to be tested. Those spiritual leaders are going to be tested. There's going to be an explosion of new religious or new spiritual leaders, new spiritual mindsets, new philosophies. We're already starting to see this, especially because Neptune is moving to the sign of Pisces. But all these aspects together, we're going to see a leader, a personality is what I will say, who comes in and it opens the door for different spiritual thinking, different spiritual philosophies, different mindsets. That's going to help to create this connection of globalism, how much we're all connected. There's going to be no divisiveness. We're moving away from that. We're moving away from divisiveness. Jupiter brings this energy of like, we're all connected, we're all under the same umbrella, so let's look out for each other. So we're going to start seeing stuff like that. Religion, spirituality, tarot, oracle, those types of things are going to now all of a sudden expand and explode even more than usual. There's going to be new publishing, new oracle decks, new creation, emphasis on spirituality and taking our brains to the next level, the next dimension. And that's good and that's bad. And I'm really seeing an emphasis on business and publishing. So there's an emerging of that. There's always a good and a bad with everything. So there's going to be some leaders who are very, they exalt themselves. It's going to be a lot of ego. It's going to be a lot of, look at me. It's going to be very loud. So, and at the same time, Saturn and Pluto are working to kind of make sure, hopefully, well, they're doing their best, but also we have to factor in the fact that Neptune is moving through the sign of Pisces. There's a lot of deception. The same people who are saying, oh, look how spiritual I am, or look at this, focusing on the spiritual side, focusing on connecting to the divine, to God, can at the same time have a complex where they're like, I am God. So it can really switch. Now, I literally made a prediction about this, and I keep quiet about my predictions. I just kind of let you guys stumble on it and find it once again. But when I said Neptune is moving to the sign of Pisces, we are going to see people who are going to be a little deceptive when it comes to fame and spirituality. Right a few months after I said that, Kanye West, Justin Bieber went from being musicians and being like, bad boys to now all of a sudden, going to church and singing out in church and denouncing, things that are negative. But at the same time, drag me if you want to, but I'm putting this out. I'm telling you guys, this is what I feel, what I sense, and what I can see within the chart. The same people who are going to come out saying that they're spiritual, that they've changed, that they are, there's this emphasis on positive energy, negative energy, and talking about vibes and stuff like that. They are using it. They're going to manipulate it. I'm not saying that it's just exclusively Kanye West. I'm not saying that it's just exclusively Justin Bieber. You're going to see it on YouTube. You're going to see it in music. You're going to see it in art. You're going to see it in all aspects of entertainment. The same people who are talking, spirituality is going to be the next thing, where it's like, oh my God, this is so different. But you have to be very mindful about who it is that you're listening to, what advice you're taking, if it resonates with your spirit, if it rejects your spirit. I've had a conversation, little disclaimer, I had a conversation with a friend that was like supporting Kanye West, and I really keep it at a distance, not because I don't support him as a Christian or support his reawakening. It's just, it can turn really fast. It can really go from being a good thing to a bad thing, especially when Jupiter moves into the sign of Capricorn, especially when it starts to become more, I don't want to say advanced, but made into something that it shouldn't be. There's only one, divine energy, and that energy flows throughout, and it should not be one human being that is exalted for anything, ever. And we really have to be careful of that, because with Jupiter, it brings fame, it brings attention, it brings wisdom, but it also can bring deception, people overindulging it, people abusing that. And especially when it comes to leadership and politics, structures, government, fame. There's going to be a lot of fame when it comes to, again, spirituality, and you really have to be careful of that, especially people purporting to be like gurus on the internet, but they really have ill intention. They want to do it because they want to be famous. They want to do it because they want to make money off of it exclusively, and that is a problem. There's nothing wrong with making, you know, a profit off of, you know, the energy exchange of money for readings and stuff like that, but there is a problem when you're doing it for profit and you're doing it for clicks and you're doing it for attention. That is not from a positive space. That's not from a positive light. It is what it is. I said what I said and I don't take it back. All right, now when it comes to your personal life, 30 minutes into it, we're blasting through this. Wow, you guys. When it comes to your personal life, Capricorn connects to commitments, bonds. This is when, you know, people find partners or start businesses, but definitely when it comes to the love life, it connects you to partners who bring joy and abundance and blessing into your life. It has the potential to allow you to make commitments to people who can really help you in your business, help you in your life, help you to enjoy your life, help you to think about things differently, help you to connect with partners and people that you normally wouldn't have crossed paths with. That is the blessing of what Jupiter can bring. I don't know why Capricorn is so demonized and Saturn is so demonized by people, when the same energy that they're demonizing is the same thing that they want for themselves. Capricorn and Saturn can bring long-lasting commitments and bonds into your life that are unbreakable. That is what you want in business, in contract deals, in relationships, in marriage. Come on, you guys. That's not a negative thing. That's the most positive, most beautiful thing ever. And Jupiter walking in hand with Capricorn and, with Saturn and Pluto, all of them moving through the sign of Capricorn, which wants to bless your business, that wants to bless your home and make sure that it's stable and secure, that wants to bless your relationship and makes it last all of, you know, the test of time through, so you can have a lifelong relationship if that's something that you want. You know, so that your paycheck, your bank account is something that is solid and stable, and that, God forbid, the economy was to collapse, that you would be good, that you would be set, your family would be set. Why is that a bad thing? That's not a bad thing at all. That's the biggest blessing. And when Jupiter comes through, those bonds, those commitments are easily made. Those connections are made. It's not just making money from your country. It's not making money from your neighborhood, from your community. It's making money all over the world, connecting with people from different belief systems, different customs, different cultures, and finding common ground and giving your gifts to them, making this world that's so big a smaller place, right? That's what it'll bring. Your philosophies, your spirituality, all of those things will be tested, but not in a way that's negative, in a way that it adds to your faith, not takes away from it. If your faith and your belief system, if it can't stand the test of time, it's not faith. It's not strong enough. It's not what you actually believe in. And some of you guys have to shift your perspective from your limited, your limited beliefs. Your limited, okay, this is the only way that it can be. Nope, no, it's not. Jupiter comes in and says, listen, I know that you were born into this world. I know that you're born into this neighborhood, into this society, into this mindset. But while I'm transiting through Capricorn, the same things that it is that you think that you can rest your faith on, that you can rest your business on, your relationship on, your home, all of those things, I'm going to show you, and Saturn especially, and Pluto especially, I'm going to show you that there's more to it than meets the eye. There's more to it than you were expecting. Open up and receive, and when that gift and that blessing passes, I want you to take it, I want you to consume it, and I want you to enjoy it. Wow, that was so much. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. There is so much